Well done.
Flea, you mentioned Anthony Davis, and he's on record saying he's focused on being dominant every single game. And I think the takeaway last night, obviously, the 36-16 was a great start. He didn't float, he didn't disappear at the end of the game. Is this realistic, and is this the version of Anthony Davis that obviously the Lakers need to have real championship, aspirations this season?
We definitely need it, and it's definitely realistic and possible. It's, I mean, personal discipline and the willingness to do it every day, even when it's painful and you're suffering and you do it anyways. A basketball season, as both you guys know, is long and serious and arduous. And no matter how many games you play, you're always playing through pain and exhaustion and whatever emotional turmoil comes from just being a human being and having to do it. And I can relate to that. I mean, I just did a 2.5-year long tour playing stadiums. You go out for 60,000 people. They don't care your dog died. They don't care your wife's threatening to leave you. They don't, you know what I mean? It's like, you got to go out and do your work. They don't care you coming down with the flu. Like, get out and entertain the people and give your entire heart to the process, And so it's definitely realistic. It's a challenge, it's serious. We know he's capable of it. He knows he's capable of it, but he really came out with a fire last night that, like, one of the things I've always loved about basketball is you can really see the people playing it. And, you can feel a sincerity inside, and I really felt that from him last night. Like, this is my legacy. This is who I am. I'm giving my heart to this. And I could really feel that last night. And they just seemed together. They seemed playing like they were playing together on both sides of the court. They didn't give up. And the Wolves are good. Like, I know they're adjusting to losing Cat and having Julius, and it seemed like they have to work through that a little bit. But AD is definitely key. He's kind of everything. And, I think he's completely capable of doing it. And I know that he's capable.
You know what, Flea? I'm glad you brought up Dalton Knecht, the rookie. He came off of a 35-point preseason game and then seamlessly into night one of his NBA career. Snoop Dogg already went with WESTSIDE KNECHT as the nickname that we should adopt. Can we do better, or do we love this?
No, I'm sticking with Snoop. That's really good. Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, I was just like the connection. I was saying all this dumb shit, you don't want to mess with Snoop when it comes to wordplay. He's a master.
All right, perfect. All right, he mastered it. Yeah. We're done.
You know where that comes from, right? You know what WESTSIDE is, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm asking Beadle because she might not know.
Of course I don't know. Why would I know?
Oh, yeah, no,
I know nothing.
It's a legendary rap group from the West Coast. They're called Westside Connection. So that's where that comes from. And they're affiliated with Snoop. Yeah.
Do you think Dalton Knecht knew that? No.
What's that?
Probably not.
Dalton Knecht certainly didn't know that.
There's no way.
I didn't know it. He didn't know.
I'm from LA, and I love music.
Absolutely. Flea, I want to ask you, what's it like to have somebody who's considered a legendary Los Angeles Clipper as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and JJ Redick? What's that like?
Yeah, no, that's a good question because I've never been a Clipper flipper. Even when you went to the Clippers, I used to love the Clippers when they were like the nice little brother, and the Darius Miles. I mean, my son is named Darius. That team and Elton Brand and Ken Norman before that and all that. But I started hating the Clippers when they got good, and started beating the Lakers, and I hated JJ. I hated JJ. I was like, he's got ugly tattoos. I hated JJ. I'm like a 2-year-old when it comes to being a basketball fan. It was a little weird. And it is kind of a strange thing. But, it's always like that with being a basketball fan with all the moving pieces. It's like every time they'll get some guy who I hated, like, look, we got Ron Artest. I remember Ron Artest threatened Kobe. I hated him. And then when we got Ron Artest, I loved him more than anything in the world. I mean, what a dynamic, beautiful guy. So it's always like that. They put on the purple and gold, and I love them. They could, yeah. So and
It's a
JJ,
test.
man, he really had them playing well. And I, as a fan, you never know who has who doing what, but it just seemed to be really working. And I was watching them when he was speaking to them, and he just seemed real clear in speaking, and they seemed real clear in listening. And I just had a feeling of togetherness for the first game. That was awesome. So, go Lakers.
Go Lakers. I think a lot of Lakers fans thought this during the offseason. You're watching all these teams make big moves, big names are changing addresses. It's going back and forth. And the Lakers sort of stayed pat. And it looked great last night. But is there a scenario in your mind of if they're going to go, and it looks like they're probably still looking out for some good big trade down the line. What would they need?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you always need shooting. The Lakers are always like that knockdown Lou Williams 3-point shooter. But
Lou can still play.
Yeah. Come on, Lou.
Shoot.
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe. I believe.
Shoot. Play, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like a backup center. I know like they really wanted, like Bron and AD were both kind of lobbying to get, I think it was Vucevic, or whoever else was available. But I don't know, man. They look pretty good. I mean, it all depends on health too. Like everyone stays healthy. Maybe Dalton KNECHT is that shooter, that he's got a stroke, he might be that guy. I just don't know. I really don't know. I like the team right now. There's no one I want to like just get rid of to get someone else to bring someone in. Like they always talk about D'Lo being the trade piece, and he's probably the best shooter on the team. When he gets going, when he gets his shot going, he was great last season. He carried them in many a game with his shooting when he gets hot. So I don't know. I mean, they talked about trying to get Trae Young. They talk about trying to get all these guys. I don't know. It seems like right now you can always use a good shooter. You can always use a big man, but it seems like they are a pretty well-rounded team. They know each other really well. And like last night, it just seemed like a pretty well-constructed roster, And what do you guys think?
Yeah, and the continuity, like we talked about in the first segment, I think that's going to help them long term. That a lot of these other teams have to make adjustments. They have to get used to each other. The chemistry, the Lakers and the Celtics on the other side, they have that. And obviously the expectations, especially for the Lakers, always are championship. And they have 17 NBA titles. Do you have a favorite of their championships?
Oh man, I mean the three-peat, well, when with Kareem and Magic, when they beat the Celtics, that really, that really felt good. The last one that the Lakers got, when they beat the Celtics, and Kobe getting his 5th ring, Derek Fisher getting his 5th ring, that was also, just such a great, satisfying feeling. So both of those were really great. It's hard to know. It's like people would always ask me, like, what's your favorite Kobe moment? Like this whole career was my favorite Kobe moment, Like, I mean, there were just so many games. He was a guy that no matter what, every night he showed up and gave everything he had. And I always respect that. Like I was talking about earlier with AD, that kind of discipline, that kind of dedication. And as everyone knows, that's not just like, oh, I'm doing it for this moment. That's a life commitment. That's a mission. That's like who you are, to do that every time. And so I really love that. But yeah, I don't know if I really have a favorite one. I mean, this year would be my favorite one.
That's exactly. The last one is the favorite. Like whatever the last one was would probably be most recent. But you played, speaking of Kobe, you played the national anthem before his final game. What memories of that night do you have?
Well, a couple of memories. The first one was that, just playing was fun, and knowing it was Kobe's last game was really weird. Just because, happy for him, but I had treasured, every moment of his playing, and it was sad. But the awful thing was I had committed to doing a fundraiser that night. I can't remember for something, and I had to leave after halftime. So I missed. It was like the second half was when he went off and he got 50, right? So I only saw the first half of that game, and I had a charity work that I'd committed to. But yeah, so
Damn it, Flea.
embarrassing to say.
Charity, no.
Flea, while I have you, I want to ask a music question. I saw on Twitter that you weren't happy that Chuck D was being left off the top list of best rappers of all time. You got to give me your top 5 rappers of all time. Why have you?
My top 5 rappers. Damn. Well,
Sheesh.
right now I really have to say, like, the history of hip hop is pretty big, and I've been, hip hop. I saw Egyptian Lover and Ice-T in LA in like 1980. Saw Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force in New York around the same time, and I've been watching, paying close attention. I say my favorite rappers. Well, the reason I'm saying that is because, like, I put Kendrick up there. He's just a master. It's a hard question. I put Chuck D up there. I put Rakim up there. I put you have to put Snoop up there.
That's 4.
And this might sound crazy, but KRS-One, BDP, I love BDP. That was
Michelle has heard about
everyone's different.
That's not true. I've heard of all of those people. Thank you very much, Chandler. I just didn't know Westside Connect. Flea, I know we're up against it. Always appreciate the time. Could have you on for 7 hours. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much. It was really nice to see the 3 of you. And
you as well.
Okay, bye now.
Thanks,
Bye.